This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
So let me ask you something. What do you do when it feels like the world is closing in on you? You know, when every single day just feels like an uphill battle. Well, today we're going to dive into a story that starts in that exact place. I want you to just picture this. You're coming home after a long, grueling day. Your hands are aching, your head is just heavy. You've given everything you've got. But the thing is, your most important job is only just beginning. The job of being a dad. And, you know, for the man at the heart of this story, that job, well, it carried a weight that most of us could never even imagine. So let's just lay out his reality, okay? 3 years ago, he lost his wife. Just like that, he became the sole caretaker for his 12-year-old son, Jacob, who has physical disabilities. And if that wasn't enough, he works this incredibly demanding job repairing aircraft parts. We're talking long hours, total focus, zero room for mistakes. But on top of all that, there was this other struggle, a physical one that was getting heavier, literally, every single day. You know, it's the kind of problem you can't really grasp unless you've lived it. As his son Jacob got older and bigger, just lifting him became this physically punishing task. And just think about the mental toll of that for a second. Every single time he had to move Jacob, this rush of fears would just hit him. What if I drop him? What if he gets hurt? What if my back gives out? And then, the deepest, darkest fear of all, what if a day comes when I just can't help my son anymore? So yeah, day in and day out, it felt like his world was just shrinking. But then, a chance encounter, one of those moments that, you know, just changes absolutely everything. Okay, so it's December 2025. A content creator, his name is Jimmy Darts, is out filming a video. And just by pure random chance, he meets this father and his son. And the thing is, he didn't just hear their story, he saw it. He witnessed the struggle firsthand, with his own eyes. And he was so moved by what he saw that before he left, Jimmy just did this small act of kindness. He handed the father $500. You know, just a simple gesture, hoping it might help out a little bit. But what this father did next, that's the real shocker of this whole story. He made a choice that turned out to be more valuable than any amount of money. So what do you think he did with that $500? Use it for bills? Maybe for Jacob's medical expenses? I mean, seriously, what would you do in that situation? Get this, he didn't keep a single cent. Instead, he took that money, saw a local mail carrier just doing their route, and he gave it all away. The whole thing. Why? Because he has this simple, powerful belief. Goodness has to keep going around, even when you feel like you have nothing left to give. Jimmy was he was floored. Absolutely speechless. Look, plenty of people see need in the world, right? But it is so rare to witness that level of dignity, of pure character. At that point, Jimmy wasn't just moved by their struggle anymore. He was completely in awe of this father's incredible spirit. And right there, in that moment, that tiny circle of goodness, it was about to get a whole lot bigger, in a way that nobody could have possibly predicted. I mean, how could you not be inspired by that? Jimmy knew he had to do something bigger. So he went online, started a fundraiser, and he just shared the raw, powerful story of what he'd just seen. And the response, it was immediate and it was overwhelming. Just look at this number, over $200,000. It wasn't just people donating. It was a total avalanche of support from folks who got it, who felt this story from the very first second. And the craziest part is how fast it all happened. In less than 24 hours, one day, the fundraiser just blew past its goal. And very shortly after that, a fully accessible van was delivered right to their home. Just like that, the daily, painful battle of getting Jacob in and out of the car was over. I mean, the transformation is just incredible, right? Think about it. They went from a daily battle of fear and pain to a new reality of peace and safety. From a gut-wrenching physical struggle to an accessible van that made life possible. They went from feeling like their world was shrinking to knowing for the first time in years that they weren't alone. But you know, what was maybe even more valuable than all that money were the messages. A total flood of support from complete strangers, all saying the same thing. We see you. We're with you. You are not alone. That man who felt like he was carrying the entire world on his shoulders, he finally felt someone standing right there beside him. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story? What's the final lesson here? It really comes down to this. When you're in pain, when you have every single reason in the world to just take, and you still choose to give, you're doing so much more than just helping one person. You're sending a ripple out into the world. You're reminding everyone that good people, real character, that stuff still exists. And the good you put out there with zero expectation of getting it back, it is a funny way of coming back to you, often bigger than you could ever imagine. And that really leaves us with just one final question, doesn't it? This whole incredible story, this whole circle of goodness, it started with one father's unbelievable choice. So, who's going to start the next one?